Welcome back. We're going to restore this Wisconsin S-10D engine. It's going to be a great project, and we're going to bring it back to life bolt by bolt and make it something awesome. I just power washed the engine to get some of the extra dirt and grime off the outside. I've got some PB Blaster and some WD-40, and about every 30 minutes to an hour, I'm just gonna hit the entire block. Got it on the bench with my helper, and I want to take a quick closer look. It's actually been about a week, and it reminds me of something that Pop said when I was young. Age and wisdom will beat out youth and enthusiasm every time. And in this situation, I think it applies. I've been hitting it with WD-40 about every day, at least once. And don't make it harder on yourself than you have to. I'm sure some of those bolts haven't been out of there in a long time. This is a Wisconsin S-10D. And the serial number on that is 5351987, which means it was made in February of 1974. And these were made between 1963 and 1979, and it's 10.5 horsepower. I got the manual off of eBay. It was about $18, and I recommend anytime you rebuild something, make sure you have the manual. I took several pictures of the outside all the way around it, and I'll take several more as I'm taking it apart for reference later if I need it. The tag on it is in a little bit of rough shape. What I'll probably do with this engine is change the paint scheme entirely, so I likely won't reuse the tag. I will try to clean it up and see what I can do there, but I have a vision for the final product, and I think I can get all the details back on it without actually using the tag again in this application. I spun the engine around, and I'm just going to start by taking off some of the ancillary items. This air cleaner, the governor linkage and springs. I have bags and a Sharpie marker over here. I'm going to be diligent in labeling all of my items and making sure that I know what they are and what they came off of. I've got a small tray to keep everything contained, and I'm just going to take a few wrenches and start taking things apart. Walbro, made in the USA, carburetors on these Wisconsin engines. It's a good looking carburetor, it'll clean up really nice. There's a little clip pin right there. I'm just gonna take that off, and then it'll remove this whole piece. And there's that removed. I'll make sure the clip pin and bag gets labeled appropriately. Let's pull the shroud off and see what we have under here. 2 bolts up top, 2 on the sides, and 2 on the bottom. Shroud bolts are loose. I'm gonna go ahead and take off this starter rope guide. I do see someone's had it off before. The washers are missing on 2 of these bolts and will have to be replaced. All right, there we go. Actually has back spacers on it. Shroud bolts came out pretty easy. They'll definitely need cleaned up. That's definitely going to require some metal work. It'll be a good test, a good practice. Look at that flywheel. It's looking pretty good. Everything's moving. I expect that nut is going to be a challenge getting off of there, but we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to vacuum it up, pull the spark plug, and then drain the oil. All right, there's about 1.5 quarts of oil in there, so that's good. Doesn't look great, but at least there's some oil. I ran through it with a magnet and didn't find anything. Just gonna give it a quick check. Not seeing or feeling anything in the oil, so that's a good sign. I'm going to replace the plug and then drain the gearbox oil. Not much oil in there, that's okay. Next I want to loosen the flywheel, and I don't want to remove it at this point. I just want to loosen it while I still have the gearbox and everything else connected. Once it's loose, I'll just tighten the nut back down and continue taking the rest of it apart. You will see here that somebody over time, not recently, but used a screwdriver, it looks like, to hammer the nut back on and set the flywheel at one point. The gashes in there do look like there's rust in there, so it definitely wasn't recent. What I'll do is just use a flap disc and try to clean those up so that I can get a big box wrench on there. So I think I've got it ground down now to where I can get the open end. I don't think I'll be able to use the closed off end, but that's okay. I think I'll be able to get pressure here. I need a way to lock the camshaft down, and I can't use the gearbox because I'm getting a little bit of slippage when I lock that down. And I did test my flywheel holder from other small engines, and I just can't get it to fit these fins correctly. So I have another idea I'm going to try and use to lock this flywheel in place while I put some pressure on this nut. I've got the flywheel wrapped with a tie strap and caught on the tie strap handle at the bottom at the bench, and then I just have the engine itself clamped down. I'm going to use the box wrench here and see if I can smack it a time or two and get it loosened up. got to make sure I stay off these fins and other components, don't want to damage things, and I expect it's going to be pretty rough to get off of there. Let's give it a shot or two. No budging yet. I'm gonna hit it with a little WD, let it set for a minute. It's been an hour and a half. I've been hammering on it about every 15 minutes, spraying it with WD-40. It's not budging. So I've been patient enough. It's time to bring the heat. There it came. I knew that was going to be hard to get out of there, but I got it out. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up and then run it back down on here. Get this lock washer off right now. Perfect, and we'll get a new flywheel nut and washer to go on here when we put it back together. I am gonna clean this up real quick and pop this flywheel. All right. Yeah, that's pulling off of there. Perfect. Excellent. That's loose. So I don't want to take it off yet. I want to put it back on, but I did want to get it loose while I still had everything connected, that gear drive and all of that. Okay, the flywheel is snugged up a little bit. I'll be able to get it off of there easy later. Now we're going to turn our attention to the gear drive. Oh, look at that. That's it for this one. I have to cut it short. I'm boxed in at this point. The garage will be the last to go. I'm about to say goodbye to this place. It's been awesome here. It's allowed me to grow, expand, and improve my skills. We're going to keep on this engine, but I'm going to be coming to you from a new location very soon. I can't stress enough. Keep after your goals. Hang in there. Keep the hammer down. Keep your eye on the prize and keep moving forward. I'm excited for what's to come. Hopefully be back on Friday morning in about a week and be starting up some videos again here very soon. Until that time, walk tall, kick ass, and remember where you came from.